In today's video, I'm going to smash the myth that you need an expensive camera to be a professional videographer. And I'm going to do that by telling you how I made $40,000 on a $500 camera. Hey everyone, Tanya here from Creative Nest. Before I get into it, I'm just gonna ask that you hit that subscription button in the bottom of the video. I'm trying so hard to build this channel and I can't do it without your help, so thanks. So this video is being prompted by a general attitude that I've sort of noticed in video production over the years, and it's the belief that if you are a professional, you would therefore have a certain kind of camera, or if you're serious about video, you'll have whatever the hell brand that person thinks you should have. But the reality is that's not true. So I'm putting my foot down and I'm tossing in my 2 cents. Would it be 5 cents? I guess you'd have to round up, because if you round down, then it's no cents, which makes it nonsense. I'm kind of sad they got rid of the penny. On a side note, wishing fountains are making way more bank. Today I want to tell you about how I made $40,000 on a $500 camera. Now, I don't like income claims. I find that they can be arrogant. Often they're not even true and people just use them for clickbait, but that's not the case with this video. And the only reason I am making an income claim is because I felt like in order to make my point, I had to be transparent with you. Story time. I was 20 years old and in university at the time, working my way towards law school. I know, right? Like, no. Now, I did all of this freelance work part-time with a Canon T3i that my parents bought me for my birthday on clearance from Future Shop.
Rest in peace, Future Shop.
To be clear, this wasn't at all the goal. Really, I was just hoping to pick up a couple of gigs so I could stop selling my soul working nights at Jack Astor's. I hate that place. So, how did I do it? Well, the first 10,000 was kind of a shot in the dark. I just said yes to everything. Just wanted a chance to shoot for a couple $100 here and there. Ton of events, a lot of charity stuff that I did for free at first, but then somehow turned into paid work later. Point being, I didn't really know what I was doing, but yet somehow I was still getting work and I was making enough money to quit my serving job. So at this point, I was relying solely on freelancing to pay for school and everything else. So my program coordinator actually sat down with me and said, hey, look, you're not really coming to class anymore because you're doing this other thing. You're not gonna get into law school if you don't make a decision. And so I dropped down to part-time. At this point, the plan was still to eventually go to law school. Now I feel this next part is really crucial in the success that I managed to experience. I put a lot of effort into my branding, my website, and developing my professionalism. I branded as an agency, so Creative Nest, versus a 20-year-old girl with a camera. In my case, branding as an agency and a company, I think that was a massive leg up in how I managed to grow as quickly as I did. My goal was to work with small to medium-sized businesses who had minimal budgets but just needed simple professional content. Now I made this target market my goal for my client base because, first of all, I knew there was money to make in that market, and two, it was within my means to produce for that group with my skill set, my experience, and the price point that I was offering at. I didn't have a ton of experience. I was really an amateur, and I knew that my camera wasn't great. But here's the thing, and I learned this really early on, is that not everyone wants, needs, or can afford Hollywood production. I decided to fill that gap. It's important to point out that I also continued to do a lot of free work for charities and organizations because it made me feel good and I had the time to do it, but also because it was really good at getting my name out there. So every time I shot an event, I got to meet new people, see new faces. I can't even express how important it was to just get out there as much as possible with my camera, even if it wasn't a great camera. We're talking a Canon T3i. It's not great. In the process of shooting for free and shooting low budget and working with lots of different clients with different needs, I learned how to maximize the output of my equipment. I also watched a lot of YouTube videos. With the money that these projects were making, granted it wasn't a huge amount of money for the amount of work that was being done, I started to reinvest in my equipment, but the stuff that I really needed. The camera was doing the job, but I needed a better audio setup and I needed lighting. So I picked up a Rode shotgun mic, $100 Canadian on sale, just like the mini one. I wanted to get a professional light kit, but they were crazy expensive, so I picked up a shop kit. You know those garage lights that you buy from Home Depot on the sticks, like the LED panels? I literally bought 2 of those for, again, like $120 and just carried those around in like a black rolling travel bag. It was actually really sketchy, but it did the job. It gave my clients what they needed and what they wanted. It wasn't super convenient for me, but at the time it was all I could really justify and afford. So regardless of how sketchy or rough my equipment looked, I was still landing work because, first of all, I didn't make claims about things that I didn't know how to do. Second, my pricing was accessible. And finally, is that I treated every client interaction the way that an agency would. mode. Email communications and phone meetings versus Facebook chats. Everyone was given an invoice from deposit all the way to whatever their outstanding balance was. Every project had a contract. On top of that, I showed up to every shoot with a clean black t-shirt with my company logo, Videographer written across the back, and my website along the bottom. And whenever I had friends or colleagues or if I hired someone to help me with a project, they also got that shirt. So we very quickly and easily looked like a team, even if it was mostly just me. So all of this to say that while I was in school part-time, which I ended up dropping out of, by the way, I managed to build a company that had a face, a brand, and a reputation, and made $40,000 in its first year on a $500 camera. So obviously, since then, I upgraded my gear, but I didn't just jump out and buy the most expensive camera ever. To this day, I still don't shoot on like the most professional camera ever. It's a good camera. I went and got something that was reasonable for the kind of work that I produce. Today, Creative Nest makes an income that's significantly better than the $40,000 in the first year, but more importantly, it's sustainable. And again, this is on equipment that still makes some professionals question my level of seriousness. Regardless of what equipment you're shooting on, or where you live, or what kind of clients you want to work with, it really comes down to this: establishing what you believe is your definition of success. In my case, I just wanted to be making enough money to not have to work as many shifts at the serving job that I hated. It then eventually turned into me not having to work for anyone else ever and being able to work for myself all the time. Am I shooting high-profile celebrity videos in Toronto and LA? No, but I have clients in Toronto and LA. Does Creative Nest have 1 million Instagram followers? No. On a side note though, I'm actually trying to break like 1,000, so if you can go follow me, that would be really appreciated. Is Creative Nest making $1 million? Not yet, it's not. And hey, it might never, but that's okay because I've found my dream job. So I'm okay either way. So I will leave you with this. Don't let some arrogant prick or some just rich enthusiast tell you that what you're doing isn't good enough, because a real professional who has grown from the bottom to where they are now will understand that everything comes in time, and that at this point in time, this is where you're at. So don't let someone tell you that you're not good enough or that your gear isn't good enough. At the end of the day, your market will decide that for you. If you have a camera that costs way more than you can afford to pay off, if your clients aren't paying enough, or if you're claiming to be producing Hollywood endeavors, but really you're shooting on an iPhone, maybe it's time to reevaluate your service offering. But don't let the service offering be defined by someone telling you that your equipment should be upgraded and you're not good enough because of that equipment. So make the upgrade when you can afford to do it and you're ready to do it. All right guys, that is a wrap. If you like this video, please take the time to just hit that little thumbs up button. If you have anything that you want to share, maybe comment. There was a lot of opinion thrown around in this video, so I would actually love to hear yours. And finally, please subscribe. Trying to build this channel, cannot do it without you. Thank you so much. So until next time, have a wonderful day. Now go make something awesome. Bye.